Y'all doing? All right, listen, I am going to bring a beautiful, amazing young woman, a very talented young woman. She is a master level social worker, a creative writer, and a future policy writer. How many of us know we need policy writers to change the world? She is a beautiful young lady that I've had the opportunity to meet within the last couple of days, and she stuck with me. So let's bring to the stage none other than Ayana Fair.
Awesome. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you, LA, for that wonderful introduction, and thank you, Parul, for hosting this amazing event. I am so excited to be here with all of you today, and I'm going to talk about something that everyone here has talked about. Everyone has kind of been on the same theme of passion. So that's what I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to put a name to it. I'm going to tell you a word, and I want you all to remember that word because we're going to come back to it towards the end. The word is Ikigai. 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 I-K-I-G-A-I. It's Japanese. Everyone got it? Ikigai, all right? So I'm going to tell you a story. Recently, I joined this organization where I live. I live in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I joined the Grand Rapids Chamber, and they do all things business, policy, and advocacy for Kent County, which is where I live. And I joined because, as LA mentioned, I aspire to be a policy writer. And so I wanted to start to make some connections that were going to be able to help me do that. I joined a women's leadership cohort through the Grand Rapids Chamber. And the first day that I sat in that room with a group of about 15 women and our leader, I'm sitting there wondering what I'm going to get out of this program, if it was worth the money I spent to be in that room, and why I'm there. So I'm sitting in that room. The first day, we learned that word, Ikigai. And I'm like, okay, I still don't know if I'm supposed to be here, but we're going to roll with it, okay? And so my question for all of you, I know that I'm in a room full of passionate people, but could I have just a few people say what some of their passions are? And just call them out. Dance, yeah. Finances, absolutely. I heard travel and tech. Give me two more. Self-care, self-love. Strategy. Awesome. We have a lot of different passions in this room. Now, my question is, how many people in this room take time on a daily basis to think about what their passions are? Just give me a show of hands. Awesome. If your hand isn't up, we got to fix that. It's especially my women in the room. We have a tendency to put ourselves last, which has been talked about a lot today, because we have all of these outer expectations about who we're supposed to be, how we're supposed to be, why we have to be that way. And why should we aspire to anyone's blueprint other than our own? So, with that being said, right, where I come from, having the time, the mental capacity, the space to have time to think about your passions is a privilege, right? And I'm going to share with you a poem that I wrote about that as to why. All right. It was a cold day in hell, January 20th, 2025, a day to celebrate progress, with progress being undone in a flash, an icon rolling in his grave. Watching from above the disgrace that ascended to office, the supercilious man walking in a White House playing games with people's lives, blissfully unaware of the consequences to follow. A felon holding office in a country where felons can't vote, the irony and hypocrisy of today, I suppose. Him walking around making presidential pardons of his peers who have committed crimes similar to his own. He says he plans to make America great again, though I don't know when this country has ever been great. Somehow I think he means the other thing. That he wants to revert back to a time when people like me did not have rights, a time when Negroes were property, where women were even less, all in one day, a day meant to celebrate the king, the one who came before us to pave a way for change, to walk us out of Jim Crow, segregation, and into an era of hope. I will say, by the grace of God, I still smile today. Despite what seemed to be the beginning of the end, a possible start to revelation, somehow I still feel the hope of the king's dream here with us today. Because if they did it before, we can do it again. And this is not a poem. This is not spoken word. This is a call to arms. And I don't mean weapons, though we will wield them if necessary. I mean a call to the educated. A call to those who would like to be educated. A call for you to protect your mind. To be cautious in discerning what is true and what is rhetoric to distract. This is a call for us to continue what he started. And I think it no coincidence that it had to be today that this tragedy occurred in history. If there is any message you should take from today, from the inauguration of the underqualified, overpaid, below average man that stands in office on today of all days, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, is we know what needs to be done. The question is, are we willing to do it? Are we willing to organize? Are we willing to say no? Are we willing to go without the latest and greatest to make our point? Are we willing to hit them where it hurts? And I don't mean physically or mentally, I'm talking financially. Are we willing to march the streets like our ancestors did until change comes? Unwavering, untiring, and undisturbed by their antics to distract us from our cause, to dismantle it. Are you willing to stand on the front lines? Because I can tell you who was. And as far as I'm concerned, today is a celebration of that and nothing more. Are you ready? If you're not, get ready, because here we go. So I know we've talked a little bit about the chaos that's going on in the US, and I'm not gonna harp on it, but when you're in survival mode, when you have a million other things that you have to be concerned about, your passion is on the back burner. And that's why I said it's a privilege to be able to be in spaces like this and to be able to take time and have the time to think about what your passions are. So if you don't feel like you have the time, make the time. Because if you're in this room, I'm gonna tell you you have the time. You just need to prioritize it, okay? So now it's time, does anyone remember that word I said earlier? Ikigai, very good. So, like I said, I am simply putting a word, a belief, to what everyone has been talking about today. Ikigai is a Japanese word. It has 4 pillars. The first pillar is that it is your passion. It's number 1. Number 2 is that it's something that your community needs from you. Number 3 is that it can be monetized. And number 4 is that it's something that you're good at. And based on the other speakers that I've heard in here today and the conversations that have been being had, that's what everyone here aspires to do, is to find your Ikigai. Mine, at least one of mine, is social work. And our Ikigais, they can grow and change, and some people have many. And you might find that they change as you grow and change, and that's okay, they're supposed to. The Japanese believe that if you find your Ikigai, you will live a longer, happier, and more fulfilled life. And who doesn't want that? So I encourage you and I implore you to find your Ikigai, to live your passions every day, and not just in your careers and in your businesses, but in your personal life, because we so often neglect those for our careers and to chase our goals and our passions, but our passions aren't just career focused, or at least I hope they're not. They should be about our whole lives. And so with that, I just want to say in closing remarks that having the time to pursue and think about your passions, it shouldn't be a privilege. It should simply be a way of life. Thank you.
So powerful. The Ikigai. I had to write that down and phonetically so I can remember how to say it. Oh my goodness. So much good stuff.